What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/AmITheAshat. Oy. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Being Honest About How I Felt About My Son's Girlfriend? Throwaway account. I, 54, female, am a mother of 2 children who I love very much. Unfortunately, my son, 28, was hurt after his girlfriend, 26, cheated on him. In my opinion, his first mistake was getting back together with her, and the second was telling me the reason why they ended the relationship the first time. Back in the 1980s, I had an older cousin who I loved dearly, and she put up with her boyfriend's cheating, and he gave her HIV and AIDS. She didn't live long after being diagnosed, and the sight of her dying in the hospital bed is still very vivid to me. Nice. Since then, I've despised all cheaters and would never put up with it myself. Ask my ex-husband. My son knows all of this, and he still chose to tell me what his girlfriend did, now expects me to act like nothing has happened because he wants the relationship to work. I told my son I will never view or treat his girlfriend the same, and even tried to make a list of dangers of taking her back, but he says he's in love and wants to work things out. Once I realized that it was useless, I stopped being vocal about it, but I kept true to my word about treating her differently. I'm aloof and distant when she's around, and try to speak to her as little as possible. For the sake of my son, I won't be outwardly mean to the girl, but he can't force me to like her. In the end, I guess my attempts weren't good enough because my son called me and asked me to go back to being the loving and warm person I used to be towards her. I told him me not calling her a filthy liar was as nice as I would get. I didn't realize that I was on speaker or that his girlfriend heard me until I heard her crying. Now my son is upset and wants me to apologize, but I don't feel like I should because A, she is a liar, B, I wouldn't have said if I had known she was listening, and C, everyone close to me knows how I feel about cheaters, and I don't feel like I should have to lie about my views to appease others. Am I the butthole for being honest with my son about how I feel about his girlfriend? Update for information and clarification. Okay, I've been checking a few posts and I see some common statements and questions, so here it goes. 1. I'm not being controlling or manipulative to my son. He knew how I felt about cheating and chose to tell me anyway. I'm not gonna change my views on the matter. 2. The first time I saw her after they got back together, I told her face to face that I don't like cheaters and would see her differently from that day forward. 3. My ex-husband of 10 years and the father of my children cheated on me, and I left due to my morals and, yes, pain. Why would people think that my children's significant others would be so special? 4. Just so we're clear, since she's a proven cheater, I won't consider any future children that she gives birth to my grandchildren until there's a paternity test to back her up. 5. People keep saying I need to be supportive, and me not wanting my son to be with someone who will increase his chances of getting an STD or STI is being supportive of his health. If she gives my son something he'll have for the rest of his life, I'm the one who's going to have to pick up the pieces while she can just leave. Update 2. Forgot some more information. 1. According to my son, she slept with her ex-boyfriend on 2 separate occasions. She didn't come clean and would have probably kept lying to my son if her ex-boyfriend hadn't outed her. He secretly recorded their second time. After being found out, she admitted the first time was unplanned, and they didn't use a condom, which especially struck a nerve for me. Now, okay, if you get cheated on, I'm one of the opinion, they belong to the streets. However, that is my initial opinion. And call me naive, call me stupid, but I believe in redemption. I believe that people can and will change. It just depends on, it depends on a lot of things, definitely. Like, for instance, if someone cheats on you and they come clean and, they, it's a screwed up thing, but, like, in a movie, I heard, or something like that, it was like, I cheated on, my wife or whatever, like, one time, and that's how I knew I loved her, because I felt bad right away. Damn, I think that's from a TV show. Oh my god, what's that from? But anyway, that's obviously not the case. She didn't come clean. But my point is, shoot, I don't know. If he believes her, like, I see absolutely no harm in, making him know that you've got his back and that you can, that you trust him at least. You know what I'm saying? Because that could be very important because, if you never accept her and what if she turns a new leaf and becomes freaking Saint Mary reincarnated? Is that in all honesty fair? People do bad things. People make horrible mistakes that do hurt people. But I really don't think you should stick people with the label of what they did before. Give people a chance to become something else. Otherwise, what's the reason people have? People are going to be less encouraged to improve themselves if you don't acknowledge that they've improved. This story's called Update. Am I the butthole for being honest about how I felt about my son's girlfriend? For any inquiring minds, here's what happened since the initial post. After a week, my son and his girlfriend came to home for a sit-down so we could talk things through. My son had explained that his girlfriend wasn't home when we started talking and he was doing something else while talking to me, which is why I was on speakerphone. He didn't realize she came back until she burst out in tears and walked away. As some of you pointed out, I asked my son, knowing how I am, if he was using me as a way to punish his girlfriend while he could still maintain his image of the good guy. My son denied this and regrets ever telling me about the cheating. His girlfriend apologized for hurting my son and making those terrible choices and stated that she wanted us to go back to our warm and friendly relationship. I explained to her why I hated cheaters so much, something that I didn't do before, and now I wasn't ever going to forget what she was capable of. She started to cry and my son asked me to find it in my heart to forgive the woman who is carrying my grandchild. Yep, some of you guessed right, she's pregnant. I just stared at them both in silence, and I guess the look on my face said it all because my son said that they were going to do a DNA test 2 weeks from now. I asked my son if that was the only reason he decided to get back together with her. He admitted that the pregnancy had a lot to do with the reconciliation, but he assured me that there were plans to marry in the future. I told my son that I did not like this choice, that I don't know if I could ever fully accept it, but I would do my best to respect it. If the child turns out to be his, I told him I would not hold what his girlfriend did against them and be the best grandmother that I could be to them. If the child wasn't his and my child still wanted to be with her, I would still be friendly towards the child, but I wouldn't feel comfortable with taking on a grandmotherly role. I apologized for calling her filthy, but not the liar part because it's true. And that was the end of it for now. Edits. I keep seeing a few common things coming up, so I wanted to clarify. As of right now, my son only plans to marry her if the baby is his. Hopefully he'll stick to that mindset if the baby isn't his. 2. Please stop comparing two people adopting a baby or a step-parent legally adopting a child from a previous relationship. It's not the same because my girlfriend's pregnancy could be the result of cheating. 3. If my son does still choose to be with her in spite of it not being his biological child, I don't want to take on a grandmother role because I don't see this relationship lasting and don't want to be too attached, especially if the biological father doesn't sign away his rights. 4. People asking me if I'm willing to lose my son over my morals. Please understand that while I would be sad to not speak with him or see him as much, that I will always be his mother, and when his relationship with her ends, I'll be waiting for him with love. 5. I've cut off other family members because of my other morals and views, so it wouldn't be a first, second, or third for me. You know what? You know what, OP? I'm proud of you. You obviously did something very difficult, and you are opening up, and that's so cool. Great job. Stoop's proud, and I hope that kid is his. I bet it is, though. This story's called, Would I Be the Butthole If I Wear a Halloween Costume That Makes My Friend's Partner Uncomfortable? Hey, Reddit peeps, I really need some help here. My 21 male boyfriend, Alex, 23, what? Oh, shoot, sorry. I always get confused when I read that. Absolutely loves Halloween. Our whole friend group loves the holiday, and we make a point to have a Halloween party every year. We're sad that we can't have our usual party this year, but we're still planning on having a little Halloween party thing on Zoom, so we still have an excuse to dress up and get drunk together. Anyway, our friend Sasha has been dating a guy, let's call him David, for about a year now. We don't have many complaints about David. He's pleasant enough to us, excluding a couple of slightly homophobic comments, which he apologized for after he found out Alex and I were a couple. And most importantly, he makes Sasha happy. However, when we were talking talking about costumes on call the other day, things got a little weird. Our friend group consists of 5 girls and 3 guys. We're all pretty big American Horror Story fans, and the girls all decided that they were going to go as the witches from Coven. Their costumes are absolutely stunning. Alex and I are planning on dressing up as Michael Langdon and Mr. Gallant. Anyways, we asked David about his costume, and he told us he'd actually planned for the 3 of us to go as Ross, Joey, and Chandler from Friends. Now, I love me some Friends, but Alex and I have already bought most of the pieces for our costumes, and we don't really want to change it at this point. We told him as much and apologized. If he'd asked us earlier, then we'd have most likely agreed to this. He left the chat about 10 minutes later, but nothing really seemed off, until he texted me later in the day. He told me that he was uncomfortable with us going as Michael and Gallant, as they often get shipped together and are most likely fairies. David told us he was uncomfortable with us flaunting our sexuality at every chance we got, and that it was making him uncomfortable. We apparently ruined Harry Potter for him when we dressed up as Remus in Sirius last year. Anyway, David is still insistent on us changing our costume. We've also been accused of trying to isolate him, as he isn't too into American Horror Story. I really don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, and I don't want David to feel like he's unwelcome, but Alex and I were really excited about our costumes this year. I know this seems like a stupid thing to be worried about, but we don't want to cause trouble for Sasha, as she really likes David, and we don't want her getting caught in the middle of some stupid argument over a goddamn Halloween costume. I'd feel awful if we were the reason that they started to have problems in their relationship. Would I be the butthole? Edit. Okay, I did not expect this to get so many replies. Thank you so much to everyone who commented and offered advice. I really appreciate it. Oh, and just quickly, AHS stands for American Horror Story. My stupid ass thought I'd already written that, sorry. I've seen a few people asking if Sasha knows about David's behavior. She doesn't. Well, didn't. Not long after they started dating, David made a few comments about being against gay marriage, and knowing full well that Alex and I hope to get married someday, Sasha blew up at him. She was disgusted that he'd think like that, and she almost left him after that incident. We felt awful for her, as she really did like David, and he kept making promises to her that it wouldn't happen again, and apologized profusely. Sasha made David apologize to us and Alex, and if we would be okay speaking to him again and believing it was a one-off occurrence. We said sure. He made Sasha really happy after all, and she'd never stay with him if we weren't comfortable being around him. We kept the homophobic jokes to ourselves, but told him that they were homophobic. To his credit, he did apologize, though it was most likely not sincere. We told Sasha about this whole situation about an hour ago and sent her screenshots of the conversation. She was disgusted, and we heard a good 5 minutes of their arguments before Sasha apologized and told us she'd call us when she dealt with them. We've had a text from Sasha apologizing for all of this, but it's not her fault. First of all, OP, good job on trying to be the bigger person. I know it can be really difficult to kind of be okay with someone just being against something as trivial as like your sexuality or something. And it's stupid. It's a really stupid situation to have to be in. And it's really sucky for Sasha, to realize that, someone, she probably saw a future with, had, beliefs like that. So I really don't think anyone, obviously someone, freaking David would be the butthole, but OP and OP's boyfriend or whatever, they're not really doing anything wrong here. They're doing all the right things. If anything, they're communicating, they're trying to be understanding, and they're really trying their best to not be anything negative. So honestly, you're clear to do what you want. You can wear the costume because it's literally just a costume and you're just having fun, or you could just wear something else to, try to avoid the conflict, but eventually it will come up again, and I think it's best to nip it in the bud, but maybe not at that moment. Alright, this story's called Update! Wibta if I wear a Halloween costume that makes my friend's partner uncomfortable. Hello peeps! Thought I'd post an update to my original post. I was gonna post this a few days ago, but my professor decided to dump about 1 million projects on us at once, so it had to wait a little bit. David. You're not forgiven. Alex and I took the advice of you lovely people and talked to Sasha about David's behavior. We even sent her some screenshots. She went absolutely ape-dookie on him. Long story short, she broke up with him. This is where the story should end, but David is apparently a bit of a petty butthole. We did originally only plan to have a small Zoom call party with a couple of friends, but some mutual friends and people from some of our classes had asked if they could join, about 15 people all in. We were okay with this and decided to just have a larger Zoom party with them for a little bit, then leave and have a call with just our small, close-knit friend group. People we don't mind getting completely trashed with. We informed everyone of this and everything was going great, until it wasn't. David is roommates with a mutual friend, Ryan, and is friends with a few people in our mutual friend group. So he decided he was gonna join in with the festivities, knowingly making Sasha very uncomfortable. He made a few passing comments about how he left Sasha because she's a fig hag. And kept asking her if they could call in private. He got shut down pretty quickly. Ryan is not one for that kind of drama, so he told David to get a grip. It made the whole thing pretty awkward, to say the least. About an hour or so into this mess, Ryan shuts off his camera and mutes his mic. He and David were using the same computer, after yet another comment from David. When he turned the camera and mic back on, David was sulking beside him, just generally looking like a scolded child. Alex and I decided to mess around with him. Yes, it was petty. No, we do not regret it. We started dropping in some American Horror Story lines whenever we could. Exempli gracia, I think. So, you like leather? I like lots of things. I don't know how it goes. I don't watch American Horror Story. Any sort of suggestive dialogue we could think of between Michael and Gallant. Not a massive amount to work with, but you know. We could see David practically biting his tongue to not say anything. Eventually, after a whip comment from Alex, he left. Ryan just shook his head and laughed it off. Everyone else found it pretty amusing, and myself and Alex were pretty pleased with ourselves. The rest of the night was a hell of a lot better. David actually tried to contact Sasha a few days ago, but Sasha's dad was pretty quick to intervene. He's a big guy. I wouldn't want to piss him off. Long story short, David is out of all of our lives now, and Sasha is looking a lot happier. I know this probably isn't an update that anyone wants, but I wanted to post it anyway. Edit. Crap, I did it again. American Horror Story stands for American Horror Story. Guys, sorry. My bad. I keep forgetting to add it. It's not okay. I needed that information, obviously. Also, just wanted to say thank you everyone for the kind comments and awards. That was a pretty cool way to handle things. I dig it. I'm glad David is no longer doing things stupid and being stupid. English, Zach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.